Fight fans, we are here with Brandon Superman Lewis, getting ready to get into the cage here pretty soon again. Every time we see you, you just keep getting better and better and better. I don't understand it, Brandon. What are you doing with your training that is separating you from everybody else? XPTV Sports fans, I'm your host, Nick Alexander, and my man, tell us a little bit about it.
I've been with DEF4 for a while now. Ever since I've been with them, I've gotten better and better, and I'm just staying with the same camp, staying with the same teams, and the camps that have gotten me to this point. And I don't need no big name camp or anything like that. I just got the same team that I've been with, and we're gonna make it to the top.
So Brandon Lewis going to the top. Tell us a little bit about your opponent, man. I know there's been a little bit of controversy. What's going on?
Yeah, he comes out of big camp. So what? Who was Straight Blast Gym before Conor McGregor? A lot of these good, fighters, they don't always come out of big team names. And same thing, DEF4. I'm gonna put Tampa on the map. I'm gonna put DEF4 on the map. I'm gonna put Armanu on the map. And yeah, that's basically I'm gonna do my thing, get in, get it done. Let's get it over with.
So I've been watching you since you're an amateur, and you've always impressed me. I'm gonna be a little bit critical right now. Tell me, in your last fight, I know you were critical on yourself as well, that you were maybe a little bit wild, not exactly what you wanted to do in that fight.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to quite disclose, but I was a little sick. I had a couple things going on, and I just wanted to get it in and get it done, and that's exactly what I did. And I felt just kind of that energy too with him. He wasn't really pulling the trigger, so I was like, all right, I'll do it then. And I was going forward. I was being aggressive at my last fight, but at certain points when I felt like he would regain his composure, I would slow it down to make sure I wasn't going overboard. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. You guys are injured, you're sick. It doesn't matter. The show must go on, and you're one of those fighters who's willing to step up and do your thing every single time, and we all appreciate you doing that. By the way, let us know where we can find you on social media or what it is.
Facebook, Brandon Superman Lewis. Instagram, Brandon Superman Lewis. Twitter, Brandon Lewis MMA. Just go on Google, type my name in, Brandon Superman Lewis, and you'll find something. So.
All right, Brandon Superman Lewis looking to make big waves in RFC 39 coming at you next.
You're watching XPTV Sports. XPTV Sports fans, RFC MMA fans, up next, Brandon Lewis versus Victor Flor. Nick, you were at the weigh-ins yesterday. You saw the two of them. There was a little bit of a struggle with the weight cut. We're fighting at 130 tonight. Tell me, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so this is going to be a catch weight. These guys were originally scheduled for 125. However, Brandon Lewis had a little bit of trouble making weight, which, Victor Flor was not too happy about. But they worked it out, with Joe Valdez and our matchmaker to keep the show going. And, Brandon Lewis looked phenomenal after he hydrated up. He even looked a little bit hurt prior to that, though, even at a 130-pound weigh-in. So I don't know that he can make 125 anymore. So we may see him in the 135-pound division coming up. But this is our main event, and this is going to be one to set up for the belt, basically. Whoever wins this is going to be able to compete for the title.
Well, we've watched Brandon grow up, and I think that as you grow, especially someone like Brandon, he's very athletic. He has a lot of muscle tone, and muscle, he's cutting weight. He doesn't have a lot to cut because he's so toned all the time anyway.
Yeah, he's a very lean athlete already, so making the 125-pound weight limit is really kind of difficult for him. So, I definitely would say that 135 is in his future.
All right, guys, our main event tonight for RFC MMA 39. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Nick Alexander back alongside with me here for the main event of RFC 39 high stakes. Nick, you were in the back with some of the fighters. A lot of them are, cooling some of their bruises off, and some of them are celebrating. Nick, what was the scene like backstage right now?
Yeah, really, I talked to John Garcia. He's really disappointed. He really thought he won that fight, and he doesn't really understand how the judges saw it that way. But he also admitted you can't leave it in the hands of the judges, because when you do that, they might see something totally different than what you felt. So, Blake Smith obviously riding a very high knockout KO victory fight. So,
Victor Flor right now preparing to get into the cage right now for this main event. Brandon Lewis's biggest challenge thus far. Both men putting their undefeated O's on the line. RFC 39 is underway with the main event. Victor Flor getting ready to get into the cage. Nick, get back to quickly before Victor gets into the cage here. The scene backstage right now. We've had everything up to the semi-main event.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Blake Smith riding that knockout win. Christian Lawson obviously ecstatic about his victory as well. Split decision, hard fought. Charlie Russo also a KO victory. So American Top Team local is really on this. But right now we're going to turn our attention to Victor Flor, who is entering the cage, and is no slouch when it comes to fights. Is undefeated, coming out of American Top Team Coconut Creek, and a very storied camp. A lot of those fighters have traveled up here to fight, and these guys are always in shape and always technical when it comes to their fights.
Victor Flor, a lot to prove with American Top Team at probably the biggest camp in the country for American Top Team. They're pushing him. They're putting him here in the big main event right now, which he made by default. But still, he has a lot to prove. He keeps this undefeated record. American Top Team has a stud on their hands tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Victor Flor is just staring at Brandon Lewis right now. He is like laser beam focus against Brandon Lewis and making his interest right now. So there was a little bit of controversy with the weight. Brandon Lewis and Victor Flor both agreed at 130 pounds. Look at the intensity that Victor Flor is bringing right now. He is like pounding his chest in the cage, ready to fight. And he has a tough test to get up against it here with Brandon Lewis, who we joined. Brandon Lewis has got riding all the momentum. This kid, they're saying is the future of the 135-pound weight class, UFC, wherever. This guy's going to the top.
Brandon Lewis joined us in the studio this last week. He seemed very composed for a 19-year-old young man here, but Victor Lewis, he looks pumped up. He's ready to fight. Brandon Lewis, of course, as usual, Team Defor behind him, ready to go. Team Defor studs like Gian Herrera right now cheering on his teammate, Brandon Lewis. Sean Hollis in the house here as well tonight from Team Defor. Defiant Daniel in the corner of Brandon Lewis.
Yeah, now Brandon Lewis in his last fights has come out just like as a whirlwind, not really respecting any of his opponents, and he might have to respect Victor Flor though, because Victor is by far the highest touted fighter he's ever fought.
Yes, absolutely. Both of these men are staring each other down, doing a little bit of footwork, getting warmed up. Both of these men look like they're ready for the big main event. They know this is the biggest fight thus far in both of their careers. Brandon Lewis not giving up even one blink. Same with Victor Flor. Both of them have not blinked once, have not flinched at all. Both of these men ready to go to war here tonight.
Brandon Lewis just looked over us here, Mark, and gave us a thumbs up. He's confident, so we're about to see what he does.
Of the evening, 3 5-minute rounds of professional MMA in the bantamweight division. The 3 judges scoring the cage size are Richard Davis, Roy Silver, and Chris Lee. Your referee in charge of the action.
So we're getting the official announcement coming in here. We have Brandon Lewis in the red and Victor Flor in the blue. Both these guys undefeated fighters and really looking ready to go. Now, one thing you got to say is Brandon Lewis looks a little bit thicker, a little bit shorter than Victor Flor, but he's got those really thick legs. He also is wearing an ankle brace. Who I don't know if part of his issue was making weight because of an injury, but he is definitely wearing an ankle brace.
Yeah, it might just be a little cautionary move on his. He has had some trouble in training. Of course, training is not easy. Defor, they don't hold back. They like to train hard. That's why Gian and Sean Hollis come in, and Brandon Lewis, they come in to fight hard and win. Definitely a little bit of a different mindset. Both of these men coming into this fight here. I had a look at social media today. It's been blowing up for 3 days over the controversy. Victor Flor's last Facebook post. Ready to fight tonight. I was born for greatness, and tonight I will get one step closer to my goal. Nobody will stop me from achieving my dreams. Okay, that is the last post by Victor Flor before stepping into the cage. Now, Brandon Lewis, much more modest and humble in his approach. He posts last that he says 5 years ago he sat down to watch his first RFC event as a kid, and that was RFC 27. Gian Herrera, his teammate, was in the main event, and he said he's always wanted to be just like Gian. He became a big fan, and he loves what Gian did, and this is the position that Brandon's in right now, and he has Joe Valdez to thank, as he says in his last Facebook post. So a different mindset going in. Victor and Brandon going right now.
Yeah, so Brandon doesn't come. Yeah, so Brandon doesn't come in swinging like he normally does, and Victor putting it on Brandon right now. Definitely a couple good strikes. Brandon counter-striking. He goes for a front kick and slips out. Victor Flor lands a nice uppercut. Big, good right hand from Brandon Lewis. Big kick from Brandon Lewis. Couple nice strikes from Brandon Lewis, and Victor Flor answering back with a nice kick.
And Brandon telling him, you didn't hurt me with that one, but he's acknowledging the strike, so you know that always means that something happened if he's acknowledged. Victor comes in with a nice jab, but just barely misses. And Brandon, starting to find the reach, but he gets hit with a really hard right hand and a leg kick, and a small little flurry of punches from Victor. Answers back with an inside leg kick.
Yeah, both these guys' faces are already red, and because they're touching each other with the leather, no doubt about it. So they have found each other's chins already and tested it. Nobody has wobbled or anything to that effect. Both these guys landed a nice strike. Big kick to Brandon Lewis. Brandon Lewis hits a clinch and just shoves it out. Brandon's swinging like nice left hooks. Big overhand right. Victor Flor, though, is saying absolutely no.
Hit that body.
Yeah, Victor's nose looks like it got hit there. I mean, Brandon is throwing some nice, overhand rights followed by, preceded by a left hook. So Brandon's going for the punch. Both of these guys are going for big strikes. Neither of them holding back. Both of them moving forward against each other, colliding in this main event here at RFC 39.
Yeah, Brandon not looking as technical as I thought he was going to come out in this fight. I thought he was going to really look for the technical side of it, but he always fights with a little bit more emotion than I expect from him because he's such a calm, cool, collected guy all the time. So it's interesting. He's very different in the cage than he is outside the cage, and as a lot of these fighters are. Victor Flor is definitely putting the pressure on, though. He's walking him down a little bit. Brandon Lewis goes for an upstairs kick.
Oh, and Victor with a big right hand of Brandon Lewis. And another jab to the midsection. Brandon needs to really cover that up and be careful there. See the red marks there on Brandon Lewis's midsection. He just wants to be careful there. Oh, Victor with a nice jab, and he ducks the punch. And a nice Stockton slap by Brandon Lewis.
Good job, Brandon. Work that body, man.
And a roundhouse kick by Brandon. It's blocked, but Victor acknowledges and answers back with a flurry of punches. Nick Alexander, this is a main event here at RFC, and it's off the chains.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I like the Stockton slap call there, and he definitely did hit him with a nice open hand slap, which is totally legal in MMA. And Brandon reaching for his shots just a little bit. He's moving side to side, moving laterally. Big body shot by Victor Flor right to the ribs. That was a good shot. So Brandon Lewis kind of telegraphing a little bit. I would expect a little bit more feigning out of him. Nice right hand by Victor Flor.
Yeah, Brandon's taking. He's also answering back. He blocks that right kick, and he answers back with a straight right hand, which is what Brandon should be doing. So his mind is in this game fight. And Victor throws an overhand right and whiffs him. Brandon answers back with a big right and a kick. And both of these men still just fighting for position in this fight. It's such a great main event. Victor with an overhand right that connects with the head.
Switch your stance.
Brandon whiffs and gets answered back with two punches. Both these men moving forward. Brandon showing he's not going to back up. Victor showing the same thing. Finally, Brandon goes for the stomach, throws one at the breadbasket of Victor, answers back with the leg, and then also a front leg kick too, or front kick to the stomach.
Good action. Nice right hand by Victor Flor right there. Both these guys are doing a lot of giving and taking on each other. It's who's going to slip the punch and who's going to land it. Nice upper knee up to the upstairs for Victor Flor. Good straight kick by Brandon Lewis. These guys are going toe-to-toe. It's hard to imagine a 19-year-old kid in there with this grown man fighting, but that's exactly what Brandon Lewis is doing.
Yes, definitely a different in age here. 19-year-old Brandon Lewis. Victor Flor, American top team out of Pompano Beach, Florida. Both of these men showing heart in this fight. This fight can go either way. Both of these men are exchanging punches. This crowd is into this fight. This is not anything short of an amazing main event.
Yeah, man, this has really been living up to the hype, so to speak. This is one of those fights that is just really give and take, constant action, as only the lower weight classes can really bring. And neither of these guys have not for a second thought about going to the mat whatsoever. These guys are absolutely going toe to toe. A lot of just throwing heavy leather on one another. Upstairs kick by Brandon Lewis, another one. Victor Flor definitely holding the center of the octagon, however, and now we get our first takedown, and Brandon Lewis stays up though.
Yes, Brandon does defend the takedown at the end of the first round here. This fight has come off to a great start in the first round. Brandon Superman Lewis, slick Victor Flor in the main event. Both these men exchanging big hits. I would hate to be scoring this fight.
Yeah, it's one of those really tough to score. If anything, though, I'm going to say Victor Flor because of the center of the octagon. He has held the center the entire time and forced Brandon Lewis to work from the peripherals. And, you know, whether or not the judges count that or not, in my mind, he is standing his ground a little bit more.
Yeah, Victor definitely probably had maybe a little bit of the edge in the exchanges there with the punches. Definitely with the punches in the midsection, he really got Brandon's body a few times. Brandon was not able to block it. Brandon had some really nice counters there. I think one of the most important things Brandon did was to defend that takedown at the end of the fight, because that would have been the decision maker for sure. So now it's sort of in the air between the judges.
Round 1 is over. Get ready for round 2.
And we are going to start to our second round of a action-packed main event here in beautiful Tampa Bay, Florida, RFC 39 high stakes. And these guys are putting it on a show for this crowd. The crowd, sometimes you can hear pins and needles, sometimes they're screaming. It's one of those kind of fights. Big left hook by Brandon Lewis. Nice right again there by Brandon Lewis.
Yeah, you have different types of fights with different levels of energy and different tones of energy. This is one of those everyone's a coach fight, because everybody in the crowd is really getting into it. Everybody wants their guy to win. Everyone's seems to be really into this fight technically.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Brandon Lewis got his foot hung up there a little bit. Again, he's getting his foot hung up there. Nice knee by Victor Flor right there. And Brandon is just not fighting the technical battle I thought he was going to here.
Brandon Lewis still not letting up, though. He is taking some damage, but at the same time, Brandon not letting up, still moving forward, throwing kicks, throwing punches. Neither of these guys really care to go to the ground. It seems like they both really want this fight to stay standing. Both of them think that they're going to be able to throw. One of those punches are going to land, and it's going to change this fight. And I don't see anyone going for any shots at this point. Everyone in this fight, Brandon Lewis, Victor Flor, throwing rights and lefts back and forth, fighting for who is going to get their first flush shot on each other.
Another body shot by Victor Flor, who continues to go for that. It looks like Brandon took a big deep breath right there. Victor Flor is slightly starting to confound Brandon just a little bit. And now we got our first takedown, and Brandon has very, very good jiu-jitsu. So let's see what he can do from this position. This is his best chance to get a lot of his own offense going. And he's starting to lock up a leg. He works with Robson Mora, a 7-time world champ Robson Mora. And that now nice. Brandon lost control of that a little bit. Got another takedown though, and Victor Flor is on his back. Brandon Lewis just took him out. Brandon Lewis is trying to ride high and stay on top.
Yeah, Brandon Lewis has kind of turned this fight around. Watch for that up kick though, Brandon, because he just got caught in the face with an up kick. But Brandon, like you said, does like the fight on the ground. It seems like he's not letting up. He wants to pass this guard, and it looks like he might be able to. Victor's dangerous here throwing up kicks. He's going for an ankle lock. Oh, shades of Ken Shamrock. He's got the neck and the back of Victor Flor. This is over. He's got it hooked. This might be over. He's got the neck and back of Victor Flor. Victor is in big trouble right now. Big trouble, Nick.
Yeah, but Victor's stayed calm and is working his way out. Brandon is still looking for the choke, though. He still could get it. He at least is going to take him out from this position. Like I said, Brandon Lewis has really good jiu-jitsu, so Victor Flor to survive this is going to be very intense, but it looks like he is going to survive it. Brandon Lewis takes him out, knee on belly. He's going to let Victor Flor stand up, but he's keeping a nice headlock. Let's see if he drags Victor Flor around. Victor Flor survived a very dangerous moment right there.
An amazing, dangerous moment that Victor survived there. He was in a tight rear naked choke, but it's still just, we're in the first round here of the main event, and there's still a lot of energy in these men. Sorry, this is the second round of the main event, but still a lot of energy in both of these men here. So Victor was not a dud. He was not just a sitting duck. He had the energy to get out of that very dangerous mode. But Brandon's still wrestling, still putting some top pressure and kind of moving around here. And he's throwing strikes with his left hand, and he takes the back of Victor one more time. And again, he's mounted on top of Victor.
Yeah, he has found something here in the jiu-jitsu game that Victor Flor was not prepared for. Brandon Lewis has been all over Victor Flor since he hit the mat, and Brandon has him flattened out now, which is a very dangerous position because Brandon's going to bring heavy leather from the top position, and he is just banging hard from the top position. Victor Flor has no answer for this. He's trying to get his hips out. He just cannot break the back mount of Brandon Lewis.
12-6s.
Yeah, but Brandon Lewis bringing hammer fist down. He's starting to wrap up an arm here. Watch for the arm.
There it is. He's got his arm. Looks like he's just throwing punches, and Victor Flor has no answer right now for Brandon Lewis. I don't know if this ref's going to stop it, but it does not look good for Victor Flor right now. This fight is about to be stopped, and it's all over. Jeff Flores, Brandon Lewis knocks out Victor Flor in the second round.
Yeah, that was a TKO victory chosen by the ref to stop that fight because Victor Flor had no answer for Brandon Lewis in the top mount position. That was amazing.
We'll be right back after the break.
If you're battling addiction, it's not easy to ask for help. It's hard to admit you really need it. Call and end addiction. Call and connect with representatives from a treatment center or rehab facility. Some insurance plans help pay for the cost of treatment. Be sure to check your policy or call your agent to see if you're covered. The first step to ending addiction starts with one private and no obligation call. There are things you still need to do. The first thing is to call and end addiction.
1-800-527-3919.
Henry Repeating Arms is a family-owned business.
At Henry, we make sure that each part of every rifle is made in America.
Like gun barrel quality steel from Ohio, brass castings from Pittsburgh, and the finest American walnut from Missouri. We deliver an American-made rifle that you would be proud to own.
To own your own piece of American history, call now for your free Henry catalog and a list of dealers in your area, plus a free decal. Call now.
You're watching XPTV Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a nice round of applause for both fighters, please. Ladies and gentlemen, from the A La Carte Pavilion in Tampa, Florida, your referee in charge, Andy Glenn, calls a halt to the bout at 4 minutes, 13 seconds of round number 2. Your winner by TKO, Brandon Superman Lewis.
Breathe in. Brandon Lewis, my man, we talked last night at the weigh-ins. You came on the radio show last night. You were calm, cool, collected in a very tough fight. Walk us through those final minutes.
Dude, the first round, I don't know what was going on with me, but my striking, I wasn't putting together the way I should. You'd ask these guys in the back, I was like tearing it up, looking good, and then I stepped in the cage. I wasn't performing the way I wanted to. Victor, tough kid. I don't know if you guys saw, but he would hit me, he would scream, come on, let's go. I would hit him and be like, come on, it was a tough fight. I'm so tired of the second round. I don't even know what brought me to the end. I think pure adrenaline, heart, I don't know, but I did it, I made it, and hats off to the guy.
Yeah, you showed a lot of heart in this fight because he was standing toe-to-toe with you, but once they hit the ground, it was all you, man.
Yeah, I got to thank Hobson Moore, our menu for that. My Def 4 team, they prepared me in my striking, but I didn't execute the way that we trained. Sorry about that, guys, but I want to thank each and every one of you. He hits me, but he's not going to hit as hard as Gian Herrera. He's fast. He's not as fast as Kevin Nunes. You know, he's good, but not as good as Blake Smith. So I'm training the best of the best in each different scenario, so it's nothing that I'm not used to.
No doubt about it, man. You have a huge fan base that just continues to grow and grow. Are we going to see you this summer?
I just want to fight. You guys know me. I just want to fight. I'll talk to my coaches, see what they say. But I'm a fighter, man.
Brandon Superman Lewis, man. Oh, check out you, man.
What's up, man? What's going on, Brandon? My name's Sebastian. I'm pretty sure you already know me.
Sorry.
You don't? No problem. Well, guess what? I hit just as hard as Gian, and I'm just as fast. So I want to welcome you to the 135. I'd like to see you in July. Take on this fight and bring it on. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm always down to fight, but I got to talk to my coaches, and I'm still in between 125, 135. So we'll see from there, but I want to talk to my coaches. It'd be a pleasure to step in the cage with you, man, though.
I hope so. So are we taking this or not?
I don't see a contract in front of me, so I don't think I have to make a decision right now. So.
All right, man. Enjoy your victory, Brandon Lewis. Your winner of your main event, Brandon Superman Lewis. And man, I can't wait to see you fight again, bro.
One more thing. I want to thank all my sponsors, Boost 365, Tracy from Live Property Investments. I got Knockout Radio. Where's Randy Harris at? We got Knockout Radio here. We got Chef Inspired Popcorn here. All these guys supporting me. You guys, you make it possible for me to be able to do what I want to do. Most importantly, I want to thank my girlfriend and of course my mom. All those hours of her work go straight into me, and I can never repay that.
Thank you, Brandon, for putting on a show tonight, man.
Thank you.
Congrats. XPTV sports fans, RFC 39. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much. Our special guest co-host, Mark Charles, alongside Nick Arrington doing the commentating. Also, our beautiful XPTV sports stars, Nicole, Brittany, Melissa, and Chloe. Guys, give a big shout out to these ladies. They work super hard, not only fending off all of the flirt they get every night, but also being able to carry those cards and do all the locker room interviews with me. Mark, Nick, let's do a wrap-up of tonight. Let's talk about everything that we saw and what's up next for RFC.
So up next on July 21st, RFC 40, I'm sure will be live here at the Alicarta Pavilion and on XPTV Sports. And RFC 41 already planned at the end of the year, November 3rd. It's going to be a great Thanksgiving month with RFC 41 here at the Alicarta Pavilion.
Maybe we can get them to serve some like turkey legs or something for the November one, right?
I don't know. That might be a good idea.
At fireworks for the July, yeah.
Maybe at the weigh-in we can have a big turkey, so after they weigh in, they can really re-nourish. How's that sound?
There we go. I think I would like that. I think the dolls would love that. I think we cut weight too, guys. We cut weight too. So all right. So Nick and Mark are going to take us to a wrap-up of tonight's event. Talk about all the fights that we saw tonight, guys. Thank you so much. You saw RFC 39 XPTV Sports on WatchEventsNow.com. That's WatchEventsNow.com. Follow us on Facebook at Extreme Power TV. And Mark Charles, Nick Alexander, Allure Arrington, Nicole with like 6 O's at the end of her name on Instagram. Brittany, what is your Instagram?
Brittany_Moody.
Brittany_Moody.
Melissa Lane.
Melissa Lane and Chloe's
Finding Chloe.
Finding Chloe. All right, guys, XPTV Sports, RFC MMA 39. That's a wrap.
All right, XPTV Sports, we just saw RFC 39, high stakes. It's a wrap, and Mark and I are going to run down what we kind of witnessed tonight.
Yeah, you know, the main event with Brandon Lewis, Victor Flor, that fight could have went any way, no doubt about it. Brandon Lewis, Team Deathforce, showing a lot of heart in that fight and really getting the better of Victor Flor at the end of that fight with a great TKO victory over Victor Flor, keeping his undefeated record intact here at RFC.
Yeah, Brandon didn't look like the traditional Brandon we've seen in the past, but he found a way to win, and that's what fighters have to do sometimes. Brandon Lewis, the real deal, bringing just a wealth of experience for a 19-year-old young man. Also, standouts, Blake Smith got the KO victory, and Charlie Russo also with the KO victory. Really sticks out in my mind, Mark.
Yeah, both of those very similar KO victories. Right hand followed up by going right to the ground and pounding their opponent. Referee stepping in, stopping the action, and getting some impressive KO victories here. We got 3 impressive KO victories on a 6-fight card tonight. Very impressive stuff.
Yeah, and that was RFC 39, high stakes. We just witnessed some really great fights. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We certainly did. For my co-host Mark Charles, I'm Nick Alexander and the XPTV Sports Stalls.